Hello, it's your boy Aftermath, and well, you know what, let's go back to the past, because when you may or may not remember, did you remember when I didn't have a green screen, when this background wasn't possible? Well, I remember, and many people remember that I had anime posters in the background, so time to talk about a guilty pleasure of mine. Because let's face it, I like cutesy shit, especially when I'm not feeling really well. I prefer to drown myself out and enjoy a dating sim, a visual novel, or straight out an ERG. The cute ones, of course, not the heartbreaking ones like Kawana Shoujo, because that wouldn't be helping. So here goes nothing. Aftermath reviews Sunrider Academy. Except that this is not actually an Aftermath review. You see, I do believe this format may rest in peace till I like games again or something, like real games. So, I was looking for some high school stupid, turn your brain off and laugh at the on-the-nose humor and cliches stuff, and then people recommended me this. I got what I wanted, and I really got so much more, because this game actually has a fairly good plot. It is a spin-off of a mech game with heavy visual novel elements called Sunrider. Except that you are not really in a mech suit or in a spaceship fighting wars right now, you're in a high school doing high school stuff. They did also tell me to download a few files and apply the restoration patch, because they said that the Steam version has content cut. Now they said content cut, and I should have suspected a thing, just because in like every dating sim or visual novel or ERG, the hint is in the first 3 letters. So I played this game, and then I got showered with anime titties. Before I go into the depth of this game, let me just explain this really quickly and make a good point. Do you see that girl right there? Well, that is Sola. That is the route I got the most invested in. And her route basically loses, what, 80% of everything that is important, and henceforth, she becomes the most boring route and is not fun to play. And trust me, I'm not saying that because of anime titties, don't get me wrong, that's a good reason, right? But every single scene that explains the dilemma in this route is straight out cut. It's not there. And by the way, this is the case for every single route. More or less, for her it's the worst. So this is a visual novel, right? Alright, let's talk about graphics. The CGs could be better, but they aren't bad. Graphics are a little bit flat, shit's missing, yo. I guess I'm not a good guy when it comes to graphics, but I think there's some texture and some flavor that could have been added. But they are worse, and it's at least not going to scare you off the game. At least the CG have a certain high quality, and while they are certainly lacking a little bit of texture, at least they are not looking like second graders drawings, like that one right there. Now let's get into the meat and the bone of this game. You play as Kaito Shields, not to be confused with the silent heroes of the Mass Effect universe Marauder Shields. No, actually Kaito Shields. And Kaito Shields is just like every protagonist ever. He wakes up, complains about being too stressed while not being stressed at all. Then his little sister comes in, tells him he needs a girlfriend, otherwise she's disappointed. He says, oh, I played 1,000,000 fucking games, that's gonna be very easy. And a text box appears that says, get a girlfriend or get a bad ending, you choose. And then remarks that he is lonely and his only source of happiness and romance is playing visual novel games or looking at porn on the holo web. Oh well. That sounds like something I would be doing. But hey, at least the reference game of Sunrider is absolutely on spot. It even referenced Kana Little Sister. And if you don't know what Kana Little Sister is, let me demonstrate. On the left you have a Bulgarian specimen that just started reading Kana Little Sister, tricked into believing that this visual novel is all about fucking your sister. On the right you see same Bulgarian specimen after finishing it. And that's where I leave it. So yeah, in the actual game you are tasked to get good grades, not to literally die of stress and then get charismatic, and earn some money while you're at it. But wait, there's more! Because of course the first introduced heroine is your childhood friend and the student council president, and of course you are the vice president. So you are also tasked with making sure their school's clubs function. What do you mean, making school clubs function? I'm not here to manage some bullshit stats, I'm here to protect smiles and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum? Well, that is simple. You see, the Sunrider Academy is apparently some kind of school for the fucking top tier of the top tier, the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, and as such, having shitty clubs is actually going to cause a lot of damage and a prestigious dilemma for your school. So at least you want to win the national championship or even the planetary championship. Hell, might even the galactic one. People expect that from you. But there's a little problem. You know, the clubs you just happen to manage haven't reported member counts or budgets or anything since about 3 years. So you check them out and then you meet the other 3 heroines. Let's start from the first one. President of the student council is called Ava. She is a childhood friend. Well, that's awfully convenient, is it not? She's too serious about literal everything and basically behaves like a real politician. The kind of real politician like Angela Merkel and not Donald Trump. The second girl you meet is Asaka. She is the airhead of the Kendo Club. She is running away from you because she thinks you are the tax collector and, well, strictly speaking, you actually are. Well, then she almost proceeds to kill you with the airstrike consistence of the 1st Air Force of birds. And then she doesn't really take anything serious. She is always kinda hyperactive. Yeah, she's that kind of cliche. She's that kind of cliche girl. The Kendo Club has some participants and high morale, but fuck all organization. Third one you meet is Chigara, the genius of the science club, who ironically enough doesn't want to use her mutated Einstein brain and rather bakes cupcakes all day. There's literally nobody in the club except for her, and if there would be anybody in the club, he would be horribly demoralized. I would be too. I'd say she's the little sister type of girl, except that you actually do have a little sister. As such, she is actually more like, let's say, the genius that doesn't like to speak and is way too shy for her own good type of girl. And lastly, you'll meet Soda. Yeah, that's the girl I referenced earlier. She is also an airhead, except that she is a literal airhead. You meet her when she was about to accidentally commit suicide by jumping into the swimming pool that wasn't filled with water off of the 10-meter tower. For all intents and purpose, at least her club works, albeit very averagely. So yeah, recruit for your clubs, fix their morale, fix their readiness, win tournaments, get charismatic, get not stressed, get money, fuck bitches, and become intelligent enough to not trigger congratulations, you are literally retarded ending. Oh, and talking about protecting smiles, there's 5 difficulties you pick from. One would be the waifu mode, which is, well, as the name suggests, basically making the game trivially easy, so you can just enjoy the story. And the other one, the hardest one, would be the space whale mode. The space whale mode basically makes this game not only based on luck, but also incredibly difficult to actually beat. And it's a min-maxing hell, really. And I have a theory about that. You see, one might argue it is because the pet mascot of this universe and setting is the space whale, it's multiple times referenced. I, however, judging by how fast your stats deteriorate, especially charisma, believe that you are, when you choose this difficulty, indeed turned into a fat, ugly space whale. There are events that happen every week, and if you catch all of them, you get to know the characters more. You got some time to make a choice, and there is no cheating in this game, so do yourself a favor and flirt the fuck out of everybody. No, seriously, if you don't do that, you have to do the first 3 months again. But if you actually do have 7 hearts and didn't miss a single event, and that's fairly easy, you can basically just save after doing the first third of the game and then just beat every route you want after. It's actually kinda easy to do that. Get a bit into your charismatic stat and they just kinda accept what you have to say anyway. But at first, try not to bore them, like don't talk about the weather with Asaga and don't ever flirt with Ava, that's not working, trust me. Fast forward 3 months into the game and you can now straight up select what route you want to pursue. Just 5 minutes, by the way, after Kato Deadpool Shields made a remark about how cheap game developers use this method as a cop-out to make sure the game is more streamlined and less focus has to be wasted on how to develop a real character arc. But you still have to do the annoying shit. You know, learning, studying, getting your clubs winning, all of that jazz. About 6 months in, that is 6 out of 10 months we need to play, we start encountering a small but significant problem. Basically, you're done. There's nothing else to do. And once you get 10 hearts with every girl, the only girl that still pops up at randomly once is your sister. Now here's a guide for you. Put your mouse on this exact same location and then start hammering left mouse button. Or, if you are like me and have a PlayStation 2 controller, the triangle will also work like a left mouse button, so use both at the same time. Oh well, look at me now. Oh yeah, I'm definitely speedrunning this game. Sunrider Academy, world fastest solar run. I'm going to keep this record. Jesus Christ, guys, we are faster. We're getting faster. Oh, we are put on your space pilot jackets. We are in here now. We are entering warp speeds. yeah, now you actually get into the meat and bone of the story. Here's where you don't really have to do a lot more than just not missing events. So sit back and just enjoy the story without triggering the bad ends you could achieve. Basically, protect those smiles and anime titties. Oh look, a wild smile appeared. Do you wish to protect it? Hell yeah you do! But really now, this actually kinda got me invested. The writing is pretty okay and I guess, especially Sola's route was pretty amazing. Basically, you should play that one. Do it. Do it! Here's a little friendly advice though. Don't start off with Ava's route. Ava's route will be better after you finish the game at least once, so everything makes a little bit more sense. After around 5 to 7 months, the characters' routes usually start playing themselves. That means you don't have to longer pursue for events, the rest will trigger automatically. At this stage the rest is some cutesy lovey-dovey stuff, which is, considering how hard the game curveballed you with its premise, actually very nice to have. So enjoy, kick back and read cute shit. And click faster! At the end of the school year, you can become a president. This is basically after all the important stuff has already happened. So yeah, at this stage you are taken, 100%ly, no matter what. Everybody knows this and this fucking asshole just dressed down. So the female vote goes to him. Better pump up that charisma stat because you fucking need a ton of it! Damn, I wanna win it. I wanna win it all. Why would I bother otherwise? I just wish I had a really good argument, but he just dressed down. Oh wait. Oh, I have something. Yeah, so there's one good reason to vote for me. Once I cleaned the pool with our current student president. She slipped out and then I banged her. I took pictures, the best pictures in the world. And then I grabbed her by the pussy. Please look for yourself. Please clap. Well, that was easier than what I expected. Tally-ho! Let's just see what Kyoto Shields has to say about... In fact, sometimes I just wanted to give up and play Irogis all day. Oh, what a nice way to break the fourth wall. Very on the nose. I mean, you are basically describing me.
All around me are familiar faces.
Oh, you think that's a dead meme? Remember this one?
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. Got no.
And shortly thereafter, the game gives you closure, then ends. And you can load your save game you made and just play the other 3 routes to protect even more smiles. Isn't that great? So, after my clever and rational calculation, I think I can give this game, let's say, 4 smiles that are protected out of 5 protected smiles. Not because there's only 4 girls, but just because the game is just slightly above average. Now, if you're into this kind of stuff, you'll enjoy it. If you're looking for a deep plot, like let's say G Senju no Mao or Kara no Shoujo, you're not gonna get it. Nah, alright, let's be fair, the plot is taking a curveball and throws it right into your face as hard as it can, and it will get you invested, and that means the characters itself will not feel completely flat or cliché, and some characters do feel a little cliché at start, but at least the game isn't dick riding the cliché into Sky's Rim or Oblivion. Yeah, I actually kinda enjoyed this a lot more than I thought at first. Thanks so much, my name has been Aftermath. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time when I have